Music we play is geared for you to think. So for those of you who don't think too much, I'm just telling you about that shit before we drop it on you.
There's two things that I want to talk about on this particular sack and play. It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan from Unintentional Grounding, coming to you with another Falcons film breakdown. And the two things that I want to break down on this particular play is, number one, this is the first professional sack for Takk McKinley. He's going to have a really nice bend, okay get off, shows power, shows a little bit of that speed, and gets this sack. But what's more important, which is number two, is the coverage that happens for the Atlanta Falcons, as well as the condensement of 3 players versus 2 players and Grady Jarrett and Dontari Poe, condensing the center, guard, and right tackle into one spot, creating spaces for Takk McKinley to be a one-on-one and Brooks Reed to be on one-on-one. So let's look at this coverage first, because I think this part is the best part to look at the coverage. You're going to see this 43 under kind of set. But what are we really looking at here? We're looking at cover one. Why are we looking at cover one? Single high safety with one linebacker going to drop into coverage and help out for the middle of the field. So play starts. You see that 3-on-2 scenario going on in the middle, and look at the coverage. We're not even 5 yards down the field yet, and look how close the Falcons are playing everybody. Boom. Best part of this. You can see, obviously, Takk McKinley's going to get this sack and that he's working a guy down to the bottom. We will look at that in just a second. But look at the coverage across the field. Everybody's got somebody. Neal's got one guy. Alford's got one guy. Poole's got one guy. Trufont's got one guy. And they dropped one linebacker into coverage, which is Debo. And they've got Allen as a single high safety. This is cover one, man-to-man, kicking butt, taking names, Seattle Seahawks defense. This is easily identified as we're going to out-athlete you. And that's exactly what happens, because we are now past the 10-yard mark for at least one of the wide receivers, so everybody else is still within inside 10 yards. And everything's shut down, including the one wide receiver that may be open on this play, which is the right-hand wide receiver against Desmond Trufant. And look how close. I'm gonna do it one more time for you guys, but let's finish out this play. Look how close everybody is, even when the sack is occurring. No one's open. Triple coverage in the middle with one safety that could jump either way. Coverage to the outside and the slot attack over here and the running back are all covered. Not a single person is open, which allows the Atlanta Falcons defensive line to work with what they're given and cause havoc and use their athleticism and speed. Let's look at it one more time. Again, don't pay attention to Takk McKinley right now. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Let's pay attention to the coverage on the field. And you're going to get this coverage that's just our athletes versus your athletes. Who's going to do it better? Who wore it better? And boom, there's nobody open. And there's Takk McKinley about to get this sack, which, by the way, is super impressive when we actually go and look at it from the other side. So now we're looking at it from the other side, which is super important. I love these angles. They're the best. There's the Miatas. They're the best. They're the best type of car. I meme too much. I'm sorry. But look over there on the right-hand side. You're going to see Takk McKinley. You're going to see Grady Jarrett and Dontari Poe in the middle. Again, remember, open your minds. Be the media. Look at where Dontari Poe is. He's at that 3-tech position again. The Falcons in this draft are going to look for a 3-tech defensive tackle that is built like a nose tackle and is going to eat blocks and take on 2 guys to free up what? The defensive end. That's exactly what the plan is. Whether they're in base or they're in nickel, they're going to want to look for 1 or 2 guys to take over for the losses that we've had in free agency and eat up blocks in the middle to create 1-on-1s with Grady Jarrett or 2-on-1s where he can still beat people and free up the defensive ends coming around the corner. That's what's so smart, what's so interesting about the way that they're using their defense. It is a disguised 34 defense with 4 men on the line and using defensive ends that might be tweeners in a 34 as 43 defensive ends on the outside. That's why Vic Beasley and Takk McKinley got drafted by the Falcons. That's the super smart part of this, and something that everybody needs to realize. So let's get to this sack, because I've yapped your heads off way too much. Watch the defensive line and where they rotate, and you're going to see the guard pull from the right-hand side of the screen to the left-hand side of the screen, because they wanted to do some trickery. They want to be able to do this this play action type of play. There's your play action right there. They pull that guard over to the left-hand side of the screen to block out the edge setter, which is Brooks Reed. And you're going to see that. Now, look at the right-hand side of your screen. You're going to see Takk McKinley fighting off with one arm, fighting off a guy. He had some pretty good get off, and there he is bending inside. This is his first professional sack, and he's going to bend inside. And look at the hold. You're going to see a flag fly out from the left-hand side, or maybe they won't even show it. But you can see the hold happening right here, because he does not want him. He's been beat. The left tackle's been beat by a speed rush into a bend with one power arm. That's it. That's all that Takk McKinley used to get to this sack. It's so simple. That's what this whole defense is actually about. It's just simplistic athleticism versus your athletes, and can we outdo you? And there's Takk McKinley. Boom, gets the sack. Look at it one more time. And you saw the flag come in right there just a second ago. But let's look at it one more time. And what's so interesting, look, one-on-one center versus Grady Jarrett. 2-on-1, Dontari Poe in the 3-tech taking on the guard and the tackle. They pull the guard over to block Brooks Reed, and look at the fight that's going on the right-hand side. And there's the flag. One more time for anyone who missed it. Watch the way that the defense takes on the offense, and the offense condenses and try to take on 2 guys with 3 guys. That opens up one-on-ones on the ends, or linebackers that can come and rush. You see Debo starting to drop back into coverage. You see Devondre Campbell come up and kind of condense another space because he sees the running back coming out. And there it is. There's the sack from Takk McKinley. I'm looking for great... Oh, and there's the flag too. And they declined that flag, by the way. They gave Takk his sack. That rhymed. But look, guys. Look. I'm looking for Takk McKinley to do more great things just like this, with more seasoning and more time in the NFL under Dan Quinn and under this coaching staff. They're going to continue to make him and mold him into an amazing athlete. I think they've understood what's going on with Vic Beasley and who he is and where he needs to be, and that's why he's going to be full-time defensive end rotation on the left-hand side of the formation, and maybe even on the right-hand side of the formation in a lot of cases. But I think they understand what's going on with Vic Beasley. I know they understand what's going on with Takk McKinley and what kind of product they actually got out of him and what they can extend and make him into. And now they only need to find that interior piece where Dontari Poe was coming in for a 1-year contract. They need to find that guy. Remember that we can go back and forth between your favorite defensive tackles in this draft in 2018 and go, oh, you know, I like bigger guys, or I like Deron Payne, or I like, you know, shorter guys like Mo Hurst, or I like guys like Vita Vea. Oh, that's going to cost so much. Don't worry, because I think that Dan Quinn and company have this down. My name is Lieutenant Dan. This is a Falcons Film Breakdown. Go and check us out. Hit the sub button if you're new to the channel. Hit the notification button so that you get all the notifications of the new film that gets put out every week. Got bunches and bunches of film coming out for you guys. Please make sure to go check us out on our social media pages on Instagram and on Twitter at UNGR_show. And if you have a dollar that you'd like to drop onto this channel and be so gracious, you can head over to our Patreon, Unintentional Grounding. $12 an entire year, $1 a month. I promise you won't miss it, and it will help the upload frequency of these videos from now until the end of time, when we stop doing this, and I don't intend to stop doing this anytime soon. Be the media, facts, truth. My name's Lieutenant Dan. Rise up. Peace out.